Mm-hmm. Hi, my name's Jeremy Sarsfield, and today what I'm doing is I'm teaching my wife, and obviously you guys, what marigold flowers, which is like dandelions and other stuff, can be used. And they just come in your backyard. You call them weeds. Well, the natives was smart enough to realize these aren't just weeds. These so-called weeds, and Big Pharma don't want people to know, is that you can use this for many types of things. One is tea. I've used these with berry flowers or other types of flowers that are like violets or other types of flowers. Like, I'm not really a florist. I just know certain things. If I see it, I know about it. Reason I know about this is one time I had a planter's wart on my foot. And a foot doctor, which was a herbalist, she turned around and showed me, after she took a scalpel and cut the planter's wart out of my foot, she showed me that dandelions can be boiled, put into a salve, and what it does, it actually helps to regenerate skin and tissue. It's also good for infections, rashes, yeast infections. It's good for burns, and it can also be good for colds. That's why, if you know how to do it, it's good to have these freeze-dried so that you can regenerate them for tea and stuff like that. Now, right now, I'm not really worried if the green parts get in here, because right now all I'm doing is teaching my wife how to boil them and set them overnight to 48 hours as a salve. Then what you can also do, again, without the green, because the green can be poison, especially if you have a reaction to certain allergies, like pollen allergies. It can be deadly. You want to make sure there's no green in your tea, but the petals only. You do have to watch out for ants and other stuff that pollinates these flowers, but even ticks will sometimes be in them. So if you see something like this, you don't want to let into your tea. Salve doesn't really matter. What you also need to know, within about 20 to 30 minutes of picking these, you need to clean them in order for them to be any good. That's why I'm trying to be so fast at it. Catherine will tell you these were big, vibrant flowers. Maybe if I didn't just take out the head, but kept the stem on a little bit, as my wife did. She left a little bit of stem, and they're still vibrant like this. But what you want to do between 24 to 48 hours, these will be into like a salve. You can use it within 8 hours, but the best results are between 24 and 48 hours. I have used this for tea. I've used this for after I cauterized a wound that's on my wrist right here, if you can see it. Those who don't know what cauterizing means, basically I heated up my knife and I put it on my skin. When the knife was orange hot, I pushed down hard to stop the bleeding. Unless you know what you're doing, I don't recommend that unless it's in extreme emergencies. If you do it, you need to have, depending on the level of deepness, between 10 and 35 seconds. Mine only needed about 10. Any longer than that, and it could have done damage to the main artery, which is the carotid artery right here, that goes up to your veins, up your neck, and to your heart. That can also leave nerve damage. It can leave paralysis of the hand or the area that you cauterize. So you need to be careful. I've been learning this stuff since I was about 3 or 4 years old. Again, I don't recommend unless you're completely trained. I show this because it's simple. Anybody can learn it. The other stuff that I know about is best to have someone that you can learn under for a long time, understand the dangers, and understand the benefits. So, I will continue to do this. I won't bore you with everything, but this is what it will look like in the pot. And what you want to do is get as much as you can, compact it, put some water in it, and like I said, keep it really compact. And boil it for about I'd say, 20 to maybe 40 minutes. You want it to almost more or less disappear, the petals, because you want that water to become almost silky. And then that's the silkiness and the thickness will make that salve. It'll be just like the salve that you buy in the store, but this stuff will be pure. You don't need to add anything to it. It's a sap that comes from, and the nectar that comes from the flowers and the seedings of the flower that makes it such pure. The nectar of the flower, when you make a tea out of it, I would use a tea maker, especially if you're doing the greens. You don't want to ingest the greens under any circumstances. The juices that comes off it, yes, not ingest. The petals, if you ingest it, that's fine. But if you're allergic, if you have allergies to pollen, I don't recommend it. Just drink the tea and strain it really well. Other than that, that's all I have for you.
How much water would you put?
Again, I would say enough to boil, but enough to saturate it. I would say, well, this thing has a measurement, so I would say right up to here. So let's say if the petals are, let's say, here, then I would have water up to here. Because water does evaporate. Water will soak into these. So you want enough where it's going to evaporate most of the petals. It's okay if there's still some there. Most likely there'll be a lot. But once you start pouring it into little containers or leave the pot in the fridge for 48 hours, cover it and to make sure there's no contaminants. And then take it out, then what you want to do is take like a knife or something and cut it into sections, and have little bowls or something to put it in. I don't recommend plastic. Maybe something like this, or a little bit bigger, of course, like to get it out. Or even those glass microwave dishes. If you have plenty of those kind of things around, keep it in, preserve it, keep it in the fridge, even freeze it. And yeah, there you go. It'll last for about 2 years if you preserve it right. And it doesn't need any preservative in it, any extra stuff. You can, like I said, those little different types of flowers, like the small purple ones and the touch-me-nots, or the buttercup flowers. Those are good also for it. So if you mix them, you're going to get a very strong potus, they call it. And as that, it'll actually help preserve itself, and it'll be good for up to a year to 3 years. But again, you have to keep it cold. You have to keep it under temperatures where it'll keep its chemical compound solid. So, anyways, have a good day. Research this. It may be hard to get some research on it, because Big Pharma has been trying to get rid of this stuff and make it look like it's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. Just like burdock root, it has its reasons of being here on this earth. It can be used as a poison for hunting. It can be used as drawing out poison, but you need to know the right type of root. The burdock itself is very deadly, but at the right time of year, before it becomes hard and thorny, that's the best time to pick it. But the flower is not what you want, it's the root that's inside. So the best thing to do is take out the root. But research it. I'm not going to tell you how. You research it for yourself. Understand the benefits and understand the dangers of what you're doing. And it'll keep you alive. Also, too, to make sure that you're not allergic to it, what you want to do is rub it on your hand for about, well, if you're really allergic to it, it'll show up within about 5 to 10 seconds. The best also to do is about a minute. If there's no redness, you don't feel any welts or anything like that, that means you're not allergic to it. But I still wouldn't ingest it unless you had to. The salve, it's all organic. So if a child did ingest it, you don't have to worry about that. Children's immune system is very strong and can overcome it. And again, it is organic. So if anything, the greens will probably give like the runs, or again, if there's anything like this in it, the most it'll do will give them the runs, maybe some tummy aches. Might make them throw up, but it won't kill them. Just like those who have pollen allergies, it'll screw their allergies up, but it won't kill them. So that's the good thing about that. This is a non-lethal plant. For the most part. There is ways to make it very lethal. I'm not speaking about that, nor am I going to teach it. But if you want to know anything like that, well, you can research it. Most herpetology or florist These, they're also known as marigold. Florists don't really see these as legitimate or any serious. Herpetology will not see these as worth mentioning because they're also taught to be prejudiced against it. I say do not be prejudiced against it, and again, do your research. Mixed wrong, these can be deadly with other flowers. The petals, most times are not. There's about 12 different types to 15 different hybrids. Yeah, there's 12 different pure types of marigold. There's about 15 hybrid marigold plants and flowers and marigold weeds. So, anyways, I recommend, again, you do your homework, and we will show the results after it is made. So, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.